say thank you guys for all the support that you guys have been offering on the channel. You guys have been killing it with the support, so I definitely appreciate that. It's been a little bit since we last uploaded a live video here on the channel, so I just decided, hey, you know, as I'm recording this video or this stream, we're 2 days out from UFC 286 featuring Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. This will be the third fight. Kamaru Usman won the first fight. Leon Edwards won the second fight to claim the welterweight belt. So now they're running it back Saturday, March 18th, 5 p.m. EDT at the O2 Arena in London, UK. So we're going to go on ahead. We're going to start with the first showcase fight of the evening. Rafael Fiziev versus Justin the human highlight Gaethje. Okay, so man, this card's gonna be a good one. This card's gonna be a good one. Haven't watched the embedded episode yet. I haven't watched number 3 yet. I've watched number 1 and 2, but I haven't quite seen number 3 yet. I'm gonna get around to it today. Maybe I'll wait for number 3 and number 4 to come out and just watch them both. Man, listen, I love the embedded episodes. Hell, I wish they could be 10 minutes long, 15 minutes long. Hell, I could watch a 30-minute episode of embedded just because of how good it is. So yeah, let's go on ahead and dive right into the main card here. Starting off with the main card, I believe the Wood and Carolina fight is scheduled for I think the early prelims. I had it down as a main event fight, or I guess they had to shuffle some events around, so we're not going to cover that fight. So we have Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze for our first main event, well, our first card on the main event. Give me Vettori. I feel like he's going to go in there, he's going to put on a show against Dolidze. That's not to discredit Dolidze for anything, but I just feel like Vettori's going to give him a lot of problems on the feet. He's going to pose a lot of problems on the ground as well for Dolidze. I mean, and the odds are kind of, well, I'm not going to say they're close, but they have Marvin Vettori at a 265 favorite to win the fight. So like I said, you already know what we do on these cards. We dive into every fighter's previous fight history, and that's what we're going to do here. Now, Vettori did lose his last fight against Robert Whitaker, and that was September of 2022. So he's been out of action October, November, December, January, February, March. So he's been out there for about 6 months, which isn't too long of a layoff, but it's long enough to, you know, get the gears back in motion, you know, get your body well rested, and that kind of, you know, thing. So, but yeah, he's got 2 wins by knockout, 9 wins by submission, 18-6-1 for Marvin Vettori. He's number 4 in the middleweight division, so he's on up there with the contenders. You know, I believe Israel Adesanya, he's the number 1 contender. I mean, obviously Alex Pereira is the champ, and then you got, I think, Robert Whitaker's up there. You got Vettori up there. I don't really know who's at that number 3 slot. I probably should have looked that up. But now we're going to break down Dolidze's fight history. He did get a win against Jack Hermanson, and that was 3 months ago. So, you know, he probably didn't take much damage in this fight, considering the fact that it's only a 3-month turnaround for him. So that's going to be good for him as well. But still, I have Vettori winning this one by, I'm gonna say he's gonna get the unanimous decision in this one. I feel like he's gonna go out there, he's gonna put on a show, and it's gonna be a good one. This fight right here is gonna be another good one as well. I mean, you have 2 knockout artists in Justin Gaethje and you know, Rafael Fiziev. So, gonna definitely be a good fight between these two. And, yeah, man, should be some fireworks between these two guys. Both are electric strikers on the feet, but we'll break down their fight once we get to them. Moving on to Jennifer Maia versus Casey O'Neill in the women's flyweight division. I have Casey O'Neill winning this one. If we take a look at her fight history, I mean, she's 9-0, dude. She's running through the flyweight division. You know, just because a fighter's undefeated does not mean that they can't be defeated. I mean, you know, look at Bryce Mitchell. I mean, when he ran into Ilya Topuria, he got submitted. Topuria got him out of there. That's not to discredit Bryce Mitchell. I love Bryce Mitchell, dude. From a guy who's kind of country himself, you know, I like Bryce Mitchell. He's a really good fighter. And Casey O'Neill seems like she's got it figured out already. Her last win was against Roxanne Modafferi, and that was back, you know, about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago. So she must have either taken some damage in that fight, or she, you know, she's been training. She's been trying to find some fights. But yeah, it's been a while for her. But I don't, I don't see that posing too much of a problem for her. She's got 3 wins by knockout, 2 wins by submission. I feel like she's gonna go out there and get a sub. So, if anything, I mean, Jennifer Maia, she's a good fighter as well. 20 wins, 9 losses, 1 decision, or 1 draw. I think that's a draw. You know, and she's number 8 in the women's flyweight division. She's got 4 wins by knockout, 5 wins by sub. She did get her last win against Miraz, and that was in November of 2022. So she hasn't had that long of a layoff compared to you know, Casey O'Neill. But I just feel like Casey O'Neill, she's gonna go in there and she's gonna put on a masterclass. So give me Casey O'Neill by submission in the 3rd round. I feel like she's gonna go out there and get a sub. Probably a guillotine, maybe a rear naked choke. I feel like the rear naked choke is one of those submissions that is predicated on movement as well as positioning and timing. So I feel like she's going to go out there and get a rear naked choke, and she's going to get Jennifer Maia out of there. Moving on to our next fight of the evening in the main card here. This is a welterweight bout between Gunnar Nelson and Bryan Barberena. Now, in my initial predictions here on my paper over here, I actually had Barberena winning this one. But then I've done some additional research, and I feel like Nelson is going to win this fight. This prediction may come back to bite me in the ass, considering the fact that Barberena, you know, is one of the better welterweights in that division. You know, he's got some pretty good wins under his belt. But I just feel like Gunnar Nelson's going to go in there and get it done, man. I mean, if we take a look at his fight history, 4 wins by knockout, 12 wins by submission, which tells you all you need to know. I mean, it's kind of hard to deal with submission specialists because you don't really know what they're going to do. I mean, you go in there against a guy like Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev. You don't know if they're going to knock you out. You don't know if they're going to put you to sleep with a rear naked choke or an arm triangle. You don't know what they're going to do. And I feel like that holds true to Gunnar Nelson as well. You know, he's 18-5-1 in the UFC. And he did get his last win March of last year, so he's been out for a little bit. So we'll see how that fares for him. But like I said, I still have him winning. You know, Bryan Barberena, 18-9, 11 wins by knockout, 2 wins by sub. So he's a knockout specialist. I feel like he's going to go in there and try and get the knockout. He did drop a loss to Rafael dos Anjos, and that was roughly 3 or 4 months ago. So this one should be an interesting one. One fighter's coming off of a long layoff, the other one's coming off of a loss. Give me Gunnar Nelson. I feel like he has the momentum necessary to win this fight, and yeah, I feel like he's gonna go in there and he's gonna edge this one out, but I don't see him knocking out Brian Barberena. I feel like this is gonna be a unanimous decision win for Gunnar Nelson. Moving on to the co-main event of UFC 286, we have the showcase fight that we have here: Rafael Fiziev versus Justin Gaethje. Man, this fight right here is going to be something else, you guys. Let me tell you. Justin Gaethje is coming off of a loss against Charles Oliveira. I think that was sometime last year. And that's going to play big into, you know, his timing. I believe Justin Gaethje's moving on up there in age as well. He's not, you know, young anymore. And then you got a guy like Rafael Fiziev who's coming off of a win against Rafael dos Anjos. And, dude, he's working that left leg of Justin Gaethje there. So Justin Gaethje's got to be careful. It seems like every single time I do a showcase fight with Rafael Fiziev, he's always targeting leg kicks. I don't anticipate that to be any different from what's going to happen at UFC 286 on Saturday. I don't think it's going to be any different. I think Rafael Fiziev is the more technical fighter between him and Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is the type of guy to go out there and want to get the finish, and he's going to try and take your head off. And I mean, he's had some incredible knockouts. He's had some incredible wins, you know what I'm saying? He went in there with Michael Chandler. He's been in there with Charles Oliveira. He's, you know, been in there with Michael Johnson. He's been in there with a lot of good guys, and, you know, he's came out with some impressive finishes. But Rafael Fiziev, he's just on another level, man. If we take a look at his fight history, like I said, he got that win against Rafael dos Anjos, and that was July of last year. He's 12-1 in the lightweight division. He's currently the number 6 ranked lightweight. 6-fight winning streak for him. And anytime you're on a winning streak like that, your momentum is heavy. Like, and, you know, he's looking to go out there and put on a show, man. 8 wins by knockout. I mean, you know, like, he's just been going in there and getting it done, man. I feel like, you know, depending on how things go against Beneil Dariush and Charles Oliveira, I feel like Fiziev's up next. Whoever he faces next after Justin Gaethje, if he can get this win, which I'm predicting that he will, I feel like he's got to face a Dustin Poirier. I feel like he's got to face a Charles Oliveira next, or a Beneil Dariush, depending on how that fight goes. And then we take a look at Justin Gaethje, the highlight, you know. 24 wins, 4 losses, made his debut against Michael Johnson. 19 wins by knockout, so he's one of the more better knockout artists. Don't forget, this guy has a wrestling pedigree as well. I think he was a Division I wrestler back in college, and you know, he's a standout when it comes to wrestling on the ground. However, I feel like Fiziev is a more technical artist, like I've said before, and I'll say it again. This fight could drag on 5 rounds, but I just don't see it happening. I feel like Fiziev's cardio is miles and miles above Justin Gaethje's. I mean, we've seen Justin Gaethje, you know, go 5 rounds with Michael Johnson, and no disrespect to Michael Johnson, but he's not Fiziev. Okay, Fiziev is gonna go in there and he's gonna try and take your life, dude. That's the type of fighter Fiziev is, and it's not gonna be any different. You know, 286 on Saturday. It's not going to be any different. I feel like he's going to target the legs of Justin Gaethje. He's going to try and get him winded. He's, you know, going to try and stay out of the crosshairs of Justin Gaethje. I don't think he's going to try and go to the ground with Justin Gaethje either. You know, both of these guys have a striking pedigree, and I feel like that's the way they're going to keep it. Then, you know, Fiziev is a more well-rounded kickboxer as well. As you can see in this fight, he is eating up Justin Gaethje's left leg. And I don't anticipate it to be any different than it is. And Gaethje's getting abused right now by Rafael Fiziev, man. He's targeting that leg. I mean, he's beating that leg up really bad. I mean, both fighters are putting on a striking exhibition here. Justin Gaethje spinning back fist. I mean, he's putting the pressure on Fiziev, though, which I anticipate this. I see that this is what's going to happen. But, I mean, yeah, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a good fight between these two guys. It really is. You know, shout out to Dana White for putting this card together. Probably in our next video, we're gonna break down. We're probably gonna break down each division, starting from men's flyweight to men's heavyweight, and we're gonna break down a division as of this moment. Okay. I'm not gonna take into account any cards that are gonna happen in the future. This is just based off of a prediction. And this is what I think will happen for the majority of the year, because fights tend to take longer than, you know, anticipated. You know, a guy may take 6 months off, may take a year off, a year and a half. It just really depends. So we're going to do a breakdown of each division, the standings in each division, and, you know, basically my predictions of what's going to happen. Maybe we'll do, like, who will be the champ of each division before 2024. I know 2024 is a long ways away. You know, we're about 9 months out from 2024, so definitely a long time. Anything can happen. Hell, I mean, goodness gracious, bro. He was eating Justin Gaethje's leg up, and like I said, I don't see it happening any other way. I feel like Rafael Fiziev is going to go in there. He's going to get a TKO finish on Justin Gaethje in the 3rd round. I feel like he's going to go... I feel like he's going to pressure Justin Gaethje, man. He's going to force him to, you know, swing wildly. And Rafael Fiziev is going to connect. He's going to connect. He's going to get Justin Gaethje out of there by TKO 3rd round. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Alright? So give me Rafael Fiziev by 3rd round TKO. Now, moving on to the main event of the evening. Welterweight title bout between Leon Rocky Edwards and Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman. Gonna be a phenomenal fight. Now, here's the thing, you guys. I believe in a good revenge story, right? Now, Kamaru Usman is coming in here as the favorite. He's coming in here as the favorite. He's sitting at minus 230 odds. And normally I take the odds into account. The odds don't always tell the story. You know what I'm saying? I mean, literally, Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. Biggest upset of all time. You know, not discrediting, you know, what's his name? I forgot his name, but the guy who beat George St. Pierre after winning the Ultimate Fighter in that one season. I forgot what his name was. It'll probably come back to me. But the odds don't always tell the story. You know what I'm saying? But there are several factors that are playing against Kamaru Usman. Okay. Here are the factors that are... I'm going to start off with Leon Edwards first because he's the champion. At this point, Leon Edwards hasn't been as active as he would hope, right? COVID made him less active, and then, you know, he's taken a lot of time away from the octagon, man. Yeah, he's not as old as Kamaru Usman is. Kamaru Usman is about to be 35, or I think he is 35, which at this point in his career, with those knee problems that he's having and those leg problems and, you know, everything else, Kamaru Usman's running out of time, and we'll talk about him in a little bit. But Leon Edwards has not been as active. And the other thing I can take away from Leon Edwards in this last fight he lost this fight. I mean, he was losing the fight. That first round, he was putting the pressure on Kamaru Usman. He was threatening submissions, and he was making Kamaru Usman, you know, like, hey, this is crazy, right? You could say, so 2, 3, 4, so you could say 20-something minutes, Kamaru Usman was getting the best of Leon Edwards. You could say that. That assumption would not be wrong. You know? However, you know, Leon Edwards is one of the best underdogs I've ever seen. I love a good comeback story. Like I said, I love a good revenge story as well with Kamaru Usman. But Leon Edwards, man, he has a lot riding in this fight. He's at home, back in the UK. He brought a title to him. You know? He has a lot of pressure on him. He has a lot of pressure on him to perform. Can he do it under the bright lights at the O2 Arena? You know? Can he bring the belt back to Birmingham, England? Can he do it? You know? Will he learn his mistakes from that second fight? Will he go in there and do a whole lot better of his striking and, you know, just outlast Kamaru Usman, because Kamaru Usman's cardio is absolutely stupid. This man is a kickboxer, holding a professional record of 20 wins. Moving on to the things that are stacked up against Kamaru Usman. The biggest one is age, right? Like I said, Kamaru Usman is about to turn 35 here in a couple of weeks, or he either is 35. He's at the twilight of his career. Yeah, he's got a couple more years left in him, maybe 2 or 3 more fights, I'm predicting, right? He's accomplished everything that he could in the sport. He's defended his belt against Colby Covington. He's defended his belt against Jorge Masvidal. You know? Like, he's defended his belt against a lot of good guys. And I feel like what's going to happen is, if Khamzat Chimaev can make 170, the UFC, Dana White, they're just going to throw him in there. They're going to throw Kamaru Usman in there against Khamzat Chimaev. And Khamzat Chimaev is going to beat the living crap out of Kamaru Usman. He's going to submit him. He's going to get him out of there. Also, the other thing that's playing against Kamaru Usman, like I said, those knee injuries, right? You know, he said he doesn't really like doing cardio because of his knees. He doesn't really like running. He does a lot of swimming, right? Treading in water, you know, it plays a big part in your cardio. Like, it can help you, you know, with, you know, that building that muscle fatigue, right? But I feel like swimming doesn't quite equate to running those long distances where your body is tested, right? Now, the last fight between these two guys was in Salt Lake City, Utah, I think it was. And if you guys don't know, Utah is a highly elevated place. It's kind of like Denver. It's kind of like Colorado, you know? Kind of like, you know, a lot of those other places out there in that northwestern division, right? Salt Lake City played a big part in why Kamaru Usman was so good in that fight for roughly 24 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Elevation plays a big part. Just ask Cain Velasquez when he tried to go in there and beat, who was that? Shit. I'm drawing blanks on so many of these fighters, but when Cain Velasquez went to Mexico City, you know, he thought just because, hey, you know, I'm from Mexico, you know, blah, 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 I'm not, you know, really worried about getting acclimated. No, wrong answer, bud. He showed up a week in advance to the fight. And, that did not play well for him. That did not play well for Cardio Kane, as they call him, right? Did not play well for him.
Kick to the body now, that one won't land.
Whereas his opponent showed up 2 weeks earlier, 3 weeks earlier to get acclimated to that climate. Now here's the thing about England, right? England is not as high in elevation as Utah is. And that's going to play a big factor with Leon Edwards. He's not going to be as gassed as he was in this fight, or in the last fight as he will this one, I don't feel like. I feel like he's very acclimated to the climate in the UK, considering the fact that he's from there. He knows what the air is like. He's been there long enough to breathe in that air. So I feel like when Leon Edwards doesn't have cardio playing against him, he's going to be a phenomenal fighter. He's going to be a phenomenal fighter. Whiffs on the kick there. Kamaru connects with that right elbow. So here's my predictions. At first, I had Kamaru Usman winning in this rematch, reclaiming his welterweight belt. But then I look back at this statistic. UFC fighters all time, when going for rematches for titles, right? UFC fighters are 3-11 in those UFC title rematch fights. That's 27% of the time they win. I can't really give you those 3 cases where the fighter won those title rematches. I can't give you those. Those are big odds against Kamaru Usman. You know what I'm saying? Kamaru Usman has never been put in a position where he's been compromised in the octagon, right? Jorge Masvidal has never compromised him. Colby has never compromised him, right? You know? Tyron Woodley never compromised him. Nobody has compromised Kamaru Usman but one guy. And that's Leon Rocky Edwards. He was the first one to ever take down Kamaru Usman. And Kamaru Usman is a phenomenal wrestler. He's a big guy. Transitioning to north-south there. Going to flip him over. But I feel like Leon Edwards, his wrestling, it almost equates to Kamaru Usman's wrestling. As far as striking goes, probably close, if not a little bit for Kamaru Usman. Comes to kickboxing, I feel like Leon Edwards is the better kickboxer. So, my prediction initially was Kamaru Usman, like I said. But looking at that statistic I just showed you guys, 3-11 in title fights all time for fighters going for their rematch. Those odds are not very good. Another thing that's playing against Kamaru Usman in this one, I feel like I said, his age. If he takes one beating in this fight, like if he has to go the distance in this fight, like the last one, which I don't predict it will. I don't think it will go 5 rounds. I feel like both of these fighters have trained for 5 rounds, right? They've trained to go in there at each other. His age is going to play a huge factor in this one. Beautiful front kick from Leon Edwards there. The key thing both fighters have to do in this one, Leon Edwards cannot allow himself to get gassed, which I don't feel like he will. I don't feel like he will in this one. And he has that momentum. He's feeling very good, you know? He beat arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world at that specific time. Maybe Volkanovski's up there. Maybe Islam Makhachev. Kamaru Usman was up there, right? When you beat a guy like that, your confidence is sky high. And the people of England are with Leon Edwards all the way.
This guy is throwing punches to be effective, to throw damage and strikes.
All the way.
Fantastic job.
So that's going to be something that plays in Leon Edwards' favor.
And he landed the right hand there.
Now, to get back to my point, I said, you know, Kamaru Usman was going to win that fight, but I gotta go on ahead. Woo! I gotta change my prediction, man. I feel like Leon Rocky Edwards will retain his belt against Kamaru Usman at UFC 286. I'm changing it. I'm changing my prediction. Y'all can go ahead and slap me in the comment section below. But I feel like he's going to get Kamaru Usman out of there this time. I am predicting that Leon Rocky Edwards will get a TKO finish on Kamaru Usman and steal for Leon Rocky Edwards. Y'all let me know what y'all think down there in the comment section below, man. I mean, you know, judging the title fights, you know, or judging this one, I just feel like I've made the best assessment that I could, the best prediction that I could in this one. And I feel like Leon Edwards, he's been training hard. He has that momentum, and I feel like he's gonna make it happen. I feel like he's gonna TKO Kamaru Usman, and Kamaru Usman's gonna have to go back to the drawing board. It will be a while if Leon Edwards can beat Kamaru Usman in this one soundly. Like if he goes in there and he knocks him out or he gets a TKO. Woo, it's not going to be good for Kamaru, man, because Kamaru, like I said, he's climbing on up there in age, man. He is climbing on up there in age. You have guys, you know, in that welterweight division just foaming at the mouth for a title shot. Foaming at the mouth for it. I mean, you're talking about guys like Colby Covington wanting a shot, Khamzat Chimaev wanting a shot, potentially. Gilbert Burns, Bilal Muhammad, right? The guy who beat Sean Brady, who was undefeated, pretty soundly. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Oh my fucking goodness. Woo! He may be the 7th ranked welterweight, but that guy, he's moving on up there, man. And if Kamaru Usman loses this fight, I'll you know, do a prediction as far as what I think will happen if Kamaru Usman loses this fight. But if he loses this fight, he will have to face either Khamzat or Gilbert Burns or either Bilal Muhammad, because he will drop in the rankings and he will have to go against one of those 3 fighters.
Oh man, look at that. Picture perfect. Got to the leg, got to his position.
That's just the way I'm you know, laying it out. You know? Now if Leon Edwards loses this fight, he probably will go on a similar trajectory to what I just said about Kamaru. Maybe you'll throw him in there against Colby Covington, because Colby Covington is number 3 in the welterweight rankings. Maybe you throw him in there with Khamzat Chimaev, if Khamzat can make the weight. If not, you throw him in there against Gilbert Burns. Maybe Bilal Muhammad, right? The welterweight division is so crazy right now. because you got Hamzat, you got Shavkat Rakhmonov, you know, Gilbert Burns coming off of that, you know, loss to Hamzat Chimaev, right? It's going to be crazy seeing how this division stacks up, right?
Usman's back in half guard. He's very comfortable here. And they both
going to be absolutely crazy seeing how it goes. But to recap the fights we have here, Barberena versus Nilsson. I have Nilsson winning that fight. You know, let me see. Then we have, you know, O'Neal versus Maya. Like I said, I have O'Neal going in there and getting a submission win. You know, then we have Deladze versus Vettori. Like I said, I have Vettori winning this one by unanimous decision. I feel like he's going to go in there and he's going to close out the show. And he's going to get a win. And then if he does that, I mean, looking at the middleweight standings, he might have a chance to go in there against Cannonier. Maybe Whitaker. It just really depends on how things go. You know, the middleweight division's also looking crazy right now. Because if Hamzat can't make weight, he's going to be forced to go to the middleweight division. Who will Hamzat Chimaev face in the middleweight division? That's left to be seen. That's up to Dana White. If he feels like Hamzat Chimaev is good to go in there against those big contenders like a Cannonier, a Whitaker, maybe even a you know, Marvin Vettori, that's up to Dana White and Sean Shelby and all the matchmakers. But it's looking crazy. But give me Vettori by unanimous decision. Then the co-main event, Rafael Fiziev versus Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is going to go in there, probably going to gas himself out. And it's not going to be very good for Justin Gaethje, man. Rafael Fiziev is going to capitalize on Justin Gaethje gassing himself. Because I feel like he's just the more technical fighter. Oftentimes the more technical fighter poses problems to the guy who goes in there swinging like he's about lost his mind. And Kamaru Usman is going to knock out Leon Rocky Edwards in this showcase right here. Do I think that's what's going to happen, though? I don't think so. But give me Fiziev by round 4, maybe round 3 TKO on Justin Gaethje. And then for the final fight at 286, give me Leon Rocky Edwards by TKO in the 3rd round. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Y'all let me know what y'all thought in the comment section below. I appreciate everybody stopping by on the stream. Much appreciated. But like I said, we're going to do a breakdown on every single division and who I think will be the champions by the end of the year 2023. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. If y'all did, y'all drop a like, y'all subscribe. Make sure your notifications are turned on so that way you don't miss a video when I upload. And as always, you guys, y'all stay motivated, stay dedicated. Always have that Mamba mentality. And I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace out.